What's going on, everybody? Seth here.
Nick here.
We're doing a Blu-ray collection update. Had a couple of these on the channel before, but we decided, you know what? Let's do it a joint production here. Kind of go back and forth. We each have a stack of titles, and I know people like these videos, so why not? We're going to try and roll these out a little bit more.
Might as well talk about the things we buy.
Yeah.
Because watching it's not enough.
Nope. We got to do show and tell.
It's fun, too, because especially if we get certain editions or, just different things, it's kind of cool, and people enjoy liking. Yeah. People enjoy seeing what you buy.
Got some good stuff, a lot of good 4Ks, and just some random. Yeah, okay.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. You want to go first?
Sure, let's do it. All right, first up, newer release. Yes, had to buy it the day it came out. That is Stanley Kubrick's
Dr. Sleep.
The Shining.
Ooh.
On 4K. Look, I'm not someone that gets all, oh my god, that artwork, but this is badass artwork.
It's good looking stuff.
Love the look of that. I actually have not watched this yet. I saw the 4K restoration or new transfer in the theater a couple months back, so it's still kind of fresh in my head. Seen it so many times though. I mean, one of my favorite films. I genuinely think this is the best horror film ever. Yeah. So I'm excited to watch it. It's one of my all-time favorites. I've not got around to it yet, but with 4K, I'm not going to double dip on everything, but if it's something like this that I love, I will always rebuy it if a better edition comes out. So
transfer's great on it too.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm excited to give it a watch. That is The Shining.
Got some Criterions here. The sale's going on, but you pick some up throughout the year when they go on sale and whatnot. The one I have here, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, by Christian Mungiu. I'm gonna guess that's how you say it.
I bet the movie feels that long.
Wow, good one. It took me a second. I'm like, no, it's only 113 minutes.
Yeah.
This is actually quite the depressing sort of film. It's Romanian. It's about a girl who needs to get an abortion, which is illegal there.
Uplifting.
Yeah, so it's kind of the story of her trying to track down somebody who can do it. Depressing stuff, but good filmmaking. Some long shots and long takes. Almost like a stage play at times. But as depressing as it is, I enjoy it quite a lot. He's done a few films that are on Criterion, Beyond the Hills, and Graduation, I think, is the other one, which are all super depressing. I think that Graduation is basically about a girl who gets raped. So this is those foreigners are some fucked up filmmakers.
Sometimes you're in the mood for a movie like that, though. Not everything's got to be uplifting.
Right, exactly, and it's kind of what I enjoy about this. Is it's just kind of a dark take on something that wouldn't be a problem in our culture,
right?
But a problem in Romanian cultures.
Sticking with the 4Ks here. Anyways,
I don't hate this movie.
Target's was rolling out a buy two get one free on games and movies, and you can mix and match, kind of like a pre-Black Friday sort of thing. I picked up a couple games, and I wanted to get a movie too. I saw this in theaters. I enjoyed it. That is Aladdin. This is the live-action version from this year with Will Smith as the genie, and what's the guy's name that plays Aladdin?
Mina Masood.
And Naomi Scott. But, I'm not, I don't know, I kind of dogged on the whole concept of these live-action Disney films, but I've liked the ones that I've seen. I like this one. I like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
The Lion King I haven't seen yet. That one's going to be a little different, I think, because there's no human element.
It's a little lifeless.
Yeah, I guess I don't really understand that, but it's cool seeing these classic animated stories where there are human characters being, brought to life, and I like this. I wasn't looking forward to it at all. I just decided to go see it on a whim one day, and surprised me. I'm not a big Will Smith fan. I thought he did a good job. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to watching it again. I have not seen the 4K yet, but I'm sure it's got to look good. I mean,
looks pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so, hey, why not? That's Aladdin 2019.
As it happens every year, especially around Halloween time, Shout Factory and Scream Factory have a bunch of sales. So I picked up a few. The first one I picked up here, Psycho 2.
Okay.
So it was a genuine surprise.
Heard good things. Never seen it.
I was always under the impression that all the sequels were shit, and I think it kind of, after this one, starts to go that way.
Right.
But this one's pretty good. He, for those who don't know from the original film, spoilers, but Anthony Perkins is pretty much psychotic. He takes on the role of his mother because she was so overbearing and crazy. But he gets acquitted, and he goes back to the Bates Motel and takes over. And this is just kind of him dealing with what has happened. They kind of give him more of a good person vibe, like he is still crazy, but there's other people involved that may have done some things to make it that way.
Okay.
But I was genuinely surprised. It's got some good, great acting by Anthony Perkins.
Well, I think people, and you were probably one of them, that you take a classic like Psycho and then you just think, oh, a sequel, like it's probably...
What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I've never watched that because it just didn't seem like it'd be worth it, but I have heard good things.
Yeah,
so.
this is another example of a film that you don't need, but it doesn't hurt because it is pretty solid. So.
Right. Yeah,
Psycho
why not? Cool.
2.
Sticking with the 4Ks here, another recent release. Had to have it on the day it came out, but it's still in the packaging.
Weird how that happens.
Yep, that is Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Oh, we both got this.
Yeah, I was going to talk about this too. So.
Yeah, this is the final cut.
Mine's open.
Yeah, here we are. When did this movie... This movie's like 40 years old now, and Francis Ford Coppola is still on the editing floor with it. This is supposedly the end, the last version of it. I've only seen this film once. I love it. I think it's amazing, but I've only seen it one time. That was the theatrical cut. So what I like about this set is it gives you the new final cut, but everything else is on 4K, right? You get...
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Apocalypse Now final cut. You get, I mean...
Redux.
Yeah. Seems like it's, I don't know, a lot of options there.
Along with that, you get the, from what I found hard to find, Hearts of Darkness documentary.
Yeah, that's actually great. It's great, kind of making of sort of thing. Really shows you the pain in the ass that it was to make this film and all the problems. I mean, Martin Sheen having a heart attack and shit. This is when you watch that, you're amazed that this turned out the way it did. But
I think Francis Ford wanted to kill himself too, or something like that.
It was just a disaster filming this, but. Like I said, I've seen it one time. It blew me away the first time I watched it. I mean, the ending with Marlon Brando, just disturbingly great,
Yeah.
So I'm excited. This is one of those. Had to grab it. Looks like a cool set. So that's Apocalypse Now.
The only gripe I have with this is this packaging.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future.
Yeah, but the film looks fantastic, so obviously that's what you buy it for. But great set. Crazy that all the stuff that comes in this, it's only $20.
Yeah, it seemed like a good deal. So,
and I think at Black Friday it's going to be like 10
for this.
Worth it.
Yeah, $10 should be a no-brainer. I mean, if you like the movie, definitely recommend this.
Keeping with the war genre, I guess.
Ooh,
documentary from last year. They Shall Not Grow Old. I talked a lot about this last year because it was one of my favorites from last year. Peter Jackson documentary about World War I. On the surface, sounds kind of boring. But what they did with this was incredible. They took this 100-year-old footage that was broken down and faded and turned it and gave it a life of its own. I mean, they made it brand new. They made it as if it was filmed yesterday.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer to this, and it's almost breathtaking when you see that old footage brought to life with color. It's kind of like, wow, it's amazing. It
really makes you question, where we can go with, old films and just filmmaking in general. It's just stunning listening to these real World War I veterans in this black and white footage, and it suddenly turns to color and comes to life with sound effects and people talking, and it's incredible. And if you're a fan of documentaries in general, I just recommend, even if you're just a fan of film in general, this is I would call it quintessential in a way, just because Peter Jackson's always pushing the bar and trying to do better. So They Shall Not Grow Old.
I'm really excited to watch that. I need to check it out pronto. All right, one final 4K in the stack here. I know you don't really like this movie.
I don't know why. It's not like I go out of my way to hate it.
Well, that's a thing. I think everyone's kind of got like a movie that might be loved by everyone else that they just don't really understand or they don't really get the hype behind. But I'm a big fan of this movie. It's the Coen brothers, The Big Lebowski, 4K. So I found this at Zia, our local used store. It's like 11 or $12. Man, I
Wow.
thought that was a pretty good price.
Yeah,
So
that is good.
yeah, I had to grab it. I'm a fan of this movie. I won't tell you like it's one of my favorites or anything like that, but it's one that I've gone back to many times over the years. It's got that signature Coen feel to it, and
Yeah, it's just so I really can't explain what I don't like about it.
Yeah.
It follows just like that quirky, weird sort of storyline
Right.
that Coen Brothers films are all about. And
I don't know. Yeah, I just think I don't know. It's a very unique sort of movie, and the performances, I mean, John Goodman in this film kick ass. So I don't know. It's been a few years since I've watched it, but for $11, $12, something like this, I mean, why not, man?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
a killer deal. So that is The Big Lebowski.
So, one film that's been getting a lot of praise, a lot of buzz this year, Parasite from Bong Joon-ho.
Yes, a really good movie.
Really enjoy it. Love it, actually. But I wanted to check out the other films in his filmography I hadn't seen yet, so I decided to pick up The Host.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I've always been interested in it, though.
Not my favorite. Honestly, might be my least favorite, but that's kind of on a different scale.
Okay.
Just because all his stuff is quality. Creature feature. I mean, even on here it says on par with Jaws.
Yeah, I mean that's to make that claim is pretty ballsy, but
Yeah, but it's it's solid. It's good filmmaking. It's basically about toxic waste and pollution, how we're polluting the planet and what it can do. This giant.
Oh, is it a metaphor?
Yes,
Wow,
I understood.
funny how that works.
But yeah, they dump this toxic waste into one of the rivers, and this giant creature comes out. It's just morphed into some unintelligible monster and just completely decimates this town. And yeah, it's got the dad from Parasite in this.
Yeah, he's in a lot of his work.
Yeah,
Memories of
I
Murder.
wish I knew his name because
Yeah.
he's a good actor, but those Korean names are a little hard for me to
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, solid. Like I said, not my favorite, but glad to add this to the collection because Bong Joon-ho is a filmmaker that I enjoy.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
good. Oh, next up, gosh, kind of makes me sad even looking at this film.
Makes me happy.
I know. I do have things I like about it. Let's just get to it.
At least you know your gripes.
This is Halloween from 2018.
The best in the franchise.
Oh, please elaborate and tell the audience that you're joking with that statement, but you're joking.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways,
Second favorite.
look, I can understand that, I guess.
I don't even know.
I was really hyped for this movie when I heard about it. They were going to do a direct sequel to Halloween. Like, I love Halloween 2. That whole, hospital environment. I always kind of watch those back to back. If I'm watching Halloween,
Same.
usually Halloween 2 follows, but I was willing to kind of let it go on a choose your own adventure sort of thing and have different timelines. Went to see this when it came out, directed by David Gordon Green. There are parts of this film that I think are great.
Yeah.
That are some of the best that the franchise has seen, but for me, every great part is erased by something that is just like so damn stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, anyways, to get to the kind of quick synopsis in this, this goes under the assumption that Michael was captured at the end of Halloween and put back into Smith's Grove Asylum, where he's been sitting for 40 years. These two people are doing like a podcast on him. So they end up like going to research him, and they find Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, who's honestly batshit crazy in this film.
Yeah.
I mean,
You'd think you'd move on.
yeah, I guess it's a film about PTSD. But anyways, there are parts that I love. There's some really cool tracking shots that kind of screen back to the original film, and a lot of like tributes and homages to the other movies in the series. But I don't know. There's one particular part in this movie, and we've talked about
agree
it,
with
and a lot
this,
of people
yeah.
talk about it. It's just, it really kind of, I don't know, takes me out of the movie big time.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But if you're talking about all of the Halloween sequels, I will say that this is the best after like Halloween 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like the Michael Myers sequels, this is one of the better ones. I'll continue to watch this franchise and see what they do with the two sequels, but I was a little disappointed. I will say John Carpenter's score in this film, some of his best work. If
Yeah.
there's anything great to say about this film, it's the music. So, if you like Halloween, you owe it to yourself to watch it. I don't know. I've seen it a few times, and I kind of know where I stand, but it's okay. That's Halloween.
Speaking of horror, Like I said before, Scream Factory having sales. This is one of the newer ones that came out not too long ago.
Artwork, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Silent Hill. You ever played the games?
I never did. I was a Resident Evil guy, but I never played Silent Hill. I don't know why.
I never did either. But if this film is any indication of how those games are, fuck that, because it's kind of a grotesquely creepy film. There's some definite just off the wall shit. You got Pyramid Head, which is just a big strong buff guy that with a big metal pyramid head that rips the skin off people.
Yeah.
You got these crazy nurses and just a creepy vibe throughout the whole thing. I think the guy that directed it, Christoph Gans, was either a fan or he knew the subject matter well because...
Well, that's good. If you're going to have somebody do that type of movie, then they should like the source material.
Yeah. Not a great film by any means, but when you talk about like decent video game films...
there's not much there.
No.
Yeah.
There's maybe one good one.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what it is.
I mean, I like the first Resident Evil film. I will
Yeah.
tell you it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't even think it's a good movie, but I like it. You know?
Right. But I think this should be up there as far as, solid video game movies, creepy vibe, good cinematography. It's just damn good for a...
Damn good.
For a good Halloween scare.
Nice. All right, next up for me, this is a pickup from the Best Buy $5.99 bin.
Yeah.
There's some gems in there.
Yeah.
If you're willing to kind of dig through everything, there's some stuff at the bottom that there might only be one or two copies of. That is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, coming of age film about these two guys who end up befriending this girl that's got cancer. She's sick. These two dudes are really into like filmmaking and stuff, so they make her a movie. I mean, it's really like a low budget sort of thing.
Yeah.
But saw this when it came out. Went to the theaters to saw it. I thought it was okay. I mean, I like these types of movies. I didn't think it was anything great though, but it always kind of stuck with me as like something I would want to watch again. So found it in that bin at Best Buy. Went home, watched it, and I appreciate it a lot more. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's a masterpiece like the back here says, but
yeah.
it's pretty damn good for what it is. Really good like tribute to like the Criterion collection and those type of movies because like these guys are really all about that. So.
Yeah, they. I mean, I think even in the Dad's movie collection, there's Criterions in there, but they make these low budget versions of like parody versions of big time films.
Right, and it's just I don't know. It's got a lot of the tropes of those coming of age movies or whatever, but it's well done and it's pretty emotional at the end. It's. I don't know. It's one of the better in the genre, I think I will say, after not being so high on it the first time. So I enjoy this. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, $5-6, whatever I paid for it. I mean, no complaints. Glad to have it in the collection.
All right. Speaking of metaphoric creature features, one of the originals, one of the best.
Great film.
Gojira.
Great film.
One of those Criterions that I always saw, always wanted, but I always wanted to try something else. Finally picked this up and watched it, and it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. You get past the fact it's a guy in a suit.
If you can look past that, which you should expect, what is it, 1954 or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you can look past that, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. Some great music. It's not even about Godzilla really. It's a human film.
Yeah.
But Godzilla is the main, I guess, antagonist. But it's
Right.
not even just Godzilla. It's just nuclear war. The atomic bombs on the Japanese cities.
I don't know. Like Godzilla's got a big fan base. Criterion put out that collection of all those films. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like the only one that I love is this one. I mean, I can understand why people like the other ones, but I think this is like an actual great film.
Yeah. I know a lot of people hate the 2014 one. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of things I like. I do want to make a video at one point about it, explaining why. But you can't go wrong with the original. I don't even know if you really need all those other ones in between.
They're totally different in tone. Like those are
campy.
Like the fight scenes look like the end of a Power Rangers episode. I mean,
yeah. But they take this serious, and I think that helps the overall impact of the film. So
yeah, it's great. I'm glad you finally watched it. I've been telling him to watch this for a long time.
That's Gojira.
Great pop-up book, Criterion too.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Where?
Wow. Wow, look at that.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Neato.
You act like you didn't know that was in there.
I probably forgot.
Or you probably just opened this side. Didn't even get to the
Probably,
whole
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Probably.
Loser.
I know. I buy things for packaging.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Next up for me, this is about as hidden of a gem. Now, stop. This
I
is
don't
a
even know what it is.
hidden gem, okay? Nobody's probably even heard of this movie. This is a Kino Blu-ray release.
Well, if it's on Kino, they've probably heard of it.
You know what I mean, though. It's very...
Yeah.
This film's called Modern Girls. It's from the 80s, 1986.
Wow.
Ah, man, okay. So, story with this film. I love the band Depeche Mode, one of my favorite bands. I've always liked to just watch their music videos at night. It's just kind of like a chill thing. But
Yeah.
they have this song, But Not Tonight. I've loved it for years. Always loved the video, but it's one of those videos that has clips from a movie in it. And it was clips from this movie. I never knew what it was. I was always like, what is the movie in that video? Did a little research, found this movie, watched it, and I love it. It's great. Really totally captures the 80s. It's about these three chicks that live together. One of them goes out for the night, leaves the other two at home. Suddenly this guy shows up. He was looking for the girl that went out. They were supposed to go on a date, and she blew him off. So the guy and the two friends kind of get in this car, and they just start cruising around the town. They go to a lot of these 80s nightclubs, and it's really, really captures that 80s aesthetic. So it's fun. I don't know. I would highly recommend this. It's not some amazing piece of filmmaking, but
Sounds good.
yeah, it's just one of those fun sort of takes place in one night plots, and I don't know, just I wasn't alive during the 80s, always been fascinated by the time, so Modern Girls, check it out. Hidden gem.
Speaking of the 80s, did you say 86?
Yes.
1987.
Ah.
Picked up this Criterion, knew nothing about it. I think we talked about it on the podcast at one point, but it was one we kind of skimmed over. That's Matewan.
You saying that right?
Yeah, I am. I made sure. I go into the store, though. I talk to the guy at the register. I'm like, hey, you guys have Matewan?
Matewan, you fucking
He's
idiot.
probably, you fucking uncultured swine. But yeah, Matewan. Like I said, 1987. Chris Cooper's acting debut.
Oh, is he playing a bad guy?
He's not, actually.
Shocking.
There are some pretty despicable people in this movie that, I just really wanted to see them get their comeuppance. But basically,
Right.
it's about this small mining town. People are dying. They're not protected by anything. And Chris Cooper comes in and tries to unionize them and make sure they're safe, getting the money they deserve,
Right,
all
right.
that. It's got James Earl Jones in it.
Ooh, I love James Earl Jones.
Mary McDonnell.
Cool.
Somebody else.
I haven't even heard of that until recently. It's just I've never heard of that movie.
Yeah, see, this is one thing that I do love about the Criterion Collection is just their selection may be iffy at times, but it's not like it's a foreign film. This is an American film that I had never heard of before.
Right.
And they just expose you to this stuff you may have never seen, and I'm glad they did because this is a great little film. There's a supplement on here. It's basically like a behind the scenes, but it's made recently. I didn't realize how old Chris Cooper was. He's looking. They're all looking very.
Did they talk to James Earl Jones on that?
Yeah.
Really, he's old.
He's looking very, very old.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to see all of them.
Right.
Nowadays, giving these interviews and
that's cool that they can get them to come back and talk about a movie like that.
Yeah.
I've always loved James Earl Jones and Field of Dreams, which came out '88, or I think '88 or '89. But I always think of him in that movie. He's old. He's an old man in that movie. I always thought. So it's kind of I don't know. It's wild. There's certain actors like that. Like what's the guy?
Morgan
from,
Freeman's always. He's always looked young.
Yeah. What's the guy from The Exorcist and The Seventh Seal?
Max von Sydow.
Yeah, my God, he's old in The Exorcist. I can't believe that he's the same guy in The Seventh Seal. He's still acting.
Yeah, he's old in Shame.
Yeah, so there's certain actors like that. James Earl Jones is one of them.
Yeah, but that's Matewan.
Cool. All right. Well, how about we stick with the theme of '80s classics and go to this is real quick. Music. I like concert films on Blu-ray. I don't know if it doesn't seem like a popular thing, but I'm someone that likes to buy them and I like to watch them. They got great replay value,
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands is The Cure. This just came out. This is their 40th anniversary.
Crazy.
Special 2 concert series.
What, they were what, that makes 70s?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
And they were very different then than they are kind of known for now. But this played in theaters a couple times. I really wanted to check it out. I was traveling that weekend. I wasn't able to see it. So I thought, hell, I've got to get it so I can enjoy it on Blu-ray. This is 2 separate shows. I think the main film is the show in Hyde Park, London, July 7th, 2018. The Cure is a great live band. Some bands aren't able to pull that off. They're a band that...
Are they theatrical?
Hardly. I mean, you get some little effects, but it's mostly just like the raw music. There's not a lot of talking in between. I was lucky enough to see them. They played a 3-hour set. I mean, hardly any talking in between. There's like 40 songs. So,
God damn.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what this is. I checked it out real quick just to look at how good it looks. And I'm excited to watch this. One of my favorite bands, The Cure, celebrating 40 years of great music.
I need to delve more into that, musical concert Blu-ray.
So good.
Especially over time, that they're so cheap.
They're cheap, yeah. That's the only reason I thought about not buying that, because I'm sure it'll be $10 before you know it, but why not?
A couple 4Ks here for some...
you're ending with the 4Ks.
Yes, some masterful films, I must say. The first one here, It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh.
Fucking God. I mean, this film does things to me.
God, I want to get this. I want to get this on 4K.
Yeah, it looks great. One thing that I didn't know about, because the old Blu-ray looked pretty good, but there's a featurette on here where they talk about how deteriorated and broken down the old original film was.
I like that. I'm interested in that type of stuff.
It's very interesting, but just seeing how decrepit that footage was and what they turned it into is truly remarkable.
I've always kind of wondered, I don't know if they dive into it on there, like where they keep the original film reel or the negatives for like classic American films like that. Like where they got to be in like California or something.
Yeah, I think it's got to be somewhere within some sort of vault in the company's building.
Super interesting.
Yeah, but they do show where they hide it. It's like this wall they just pull apart, and there's tons of film reels.
That's so sick.
Yeah. It doesn't always look fantastic. I think that's just a testament to
you got to expect
the age of the film. But the parts that they were able to restore, it's incredible that they were able to do that with a film from the 30s.
Right.
It's amazing.
I've got to say with that, I had seen it a few times.
The 40s, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, well, whatever. But, like Christmas films, I won't say that's my favorite, but in terms of like film quality and actually being a great movie, that's got to be the best around the Christmas genre. I mean... Yeah,
well, this used to be a one when it was on during Christmas. I would just skip over it. I'm like, what's that black and white movie?
I want to watch Santa Claus again.
I want to watch Christmas Story 7 times in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
But one of my favorites of all time, top 10. So
get that.
Really great film, and I'm glad that they were able to restore it the way they were.
Cool. All right. Got a couple more pickups here. Another one from the cheap bin at Best Buy. Jane Russell, Marilyn Monroe.
Nice.
Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
See, this is a movie I know only from Marilyn. I have no idea what it's about.
Okay, these 2 chicks are performers. Marilyn Monroe her character is like involved with this guy. And the guy's dad, they're very wealthy. The guy's dad thinks she's just a gold digger.
Okay.
Thinks she's not of best interest for his son. So these 2 chicks go on this cruise. The guy's dad sends like a detective to kind of spy, make sure she's not up to any shenanigans. Of course she is, and gets herself into some issues, but this was fun. I don't know. I had a good time with this. I've always kind of put off watching these types of movies. Recently I've been trying to get more into like the classic, films, and if I can get it for $5 out of the bin, why not? I really enjoyed this Marilyn. Whew! I'm all about Marilyn lately.
Yeah, she's a dime.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean, everyone knows that those iconic dance sequences and all that stuff. So
yeah, there's like that Facebook GIF that goes around all the time where it's them walking in their dresses.
Some of those Facebook movies for sure. But I gotta say,
I doubt they've ever seen it. Though.
Yeah, this Blu-ray is amazing.
Really?
I was shocked with how good it looked. I mean, I was really kind of blown away. I'm like, damn, that really is good quality. So
can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I was really surprised with this. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Good time.
Well, on our last ones. But looking at his, there's some quality here.
Yeah, these are 2 quality films we're going to end with.
So happy they were able to restore this film as well on 4K. Wizard of Oz.
Ooh, I love that steelbook.
Yeah, this steelbook is very nice, simplistic. I did an overview of it on our channel if you'd like to go check it out and see it in more detail. But my God, ever since we watched Judy,
Yes.
you know, I've been in a Judy mood.
That entire story is fascinating.
It's very fascinating and very heartbreaking, just because they really fucked her life up in a lot of ways.
I love that movie though.
Yes.
I mean,
this was before all that shit went down. This film was fantastic. One of the best musicals ever. One of the best films ever.
there are two films that I think about being so far ahead of their time. The first one is that, and then 2001: A Space Odyssey are two movies that doesn't feel like it was from the 30s or whenever they shot that. I mean, it's just amazing what was going on in that movie. Kind of fucked up, asbestos as snowflakes. And,
yeah.
It's a weird film. I always thought something kind of evil was lurking within that movie, but it's just strange.
Yeah,
it
was MGM.
That's the evil.
That was what was lurking around. It is a very odd and creepy movie.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah,
it's bizarre, man.
Looks great though. I mean, I just don't know how they're able to do it. I'm very curious on the process of how they do it. I think they take the actual film and scan it in, but I don't know how they clean up the blemishes and stuff. Really fascinating, part of the restoration process. But
did I ever tell you the time that I met the coroner from The Wizard of Oz?
Only so many times I can't count on my hand.
My lame claim to fame. Anyways, it's a hell of a movie. I need to buy that 4K. I don't know why. It's one of my favorites.
Well, you've got a really cool steelbook.
I do. I really like the edition that I have of that movie, and I'm not sure how much better it can actually look, but I'm sure it looks great.
Yeah. Stunning film. Love it.
Well, let's end the Blu-ray update with another classic. This is an Italian film, an Arrow video release. I think this might have been a Barnes & Noble exclusive, at least this version with this dumbass slipcover. Cinema Paradiso.
God damn it.
Wow. This movie is amazing. I'm just going to say right now, if you're watching this, if you're watching two guys talk about Blu-rays, you're probably more than, like an average film goer, a cinephile, or whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself to watch this movie because it's a love letter to film.
Yeah.
It's a tribute to movies. It's about this kid that works, with this projectionist, and he's just kind of teaching him what it's all about. Super creepy slipcover.
Yeah,
I'm not
disturbing.
Sure. Really, he looks like the Cyclops from the second Harold and Kumar film, but this is much better.
Yeah, just keep it with that.
Yeah, but whatever, slipcover aside, I mean, hell of an edition. I think this is like a director's cut or something. You were telling me that you watched the longer cut.
Yeah, well, we were talking about cuts with Apocalypse Now. I don't usually know the difference or even really care, but the director's cut, whatever the longer version of, really improves this film.
Yeah.
It kind of goes deeper into the relationship he has with, can't remember her name, but the girl in the film, and it adds that extra layer that really ties the film together.
I mean, man, this is it's hard to describe if you haven't seen it, but like I said, you just owe it to yourself to watch it. It's just totally a tribute to movies, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's really become one of my favorites over the years. That is Cinema Paradiso.
That's it. That's all, folks. That's not everything we've picked up, because it's been a while since we've done one of these, but we didn't want to go on too long. Just show us some of the highlights we've picked up. We'll definitely be doing more of these. Let us know if you want to see more of our show and tell.
Yeah, let us know what you think about any of the films we picked up too. Always good to hear you guys' thoughts.
Yeah, and with that, thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.